Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1779. We continue with Women's Month here on Cars Yeah, celebrating women in the automotive sector by having conversations with 23 inspiring automotive enthusiasts throughout the month. These are women who are shifting the conversation.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today, I am in beautiful Carmel, California, one of my favorite places, especially coming up in the month of August, and you'll know why. You probably already know why if you're a listener to Cars Yeah. Talking with April Morris. April, welcome to Cars Yeah. Are you ready to put it in gear and release the clutch?
I am. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So good to have you here. Now, before I give you a proper introduction, what's one little thing that most people don't know about you, April?
Well, since 2001, I have been a die-hard Fast and Furious fan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Kind of fits with your generation, I guess, a little bit. Or now you drive one of those kinds of vehicles?
You know, that's the other interesting fact that people don't know about me is that I unfortunately cannot drive a stick.
Well, okay. Next time I'm down there for Car Week, we're going to give you some lessons. I taught both my kids how to drive stick on an old 1972 Porsche 911S, and just so that they could say that's what they learned in, but also so they could do it. And I'll tell you something, my son, when he was in high school, and my daughter, I think they were the only ones of all their friends that knew how to do that. So let me ask you, why? Why not?
Both my parents know how to. We never had a stick shift car. And, over the years, I've had a couple times where friends have tried to teach me, but I think it's when you're not consistently doing it every day, it's not easy to necessarily pick up. But it is a bucket list item, and I will one day be able to say that I can drive a stick.
Well, I have no doubt. Well, next time I'm down there, maybe this summer, we'll get together. Although they don't rent stick shift cars anymore, and I typically fly in and rent a car. So maybe I've got a friend with an old car we could borrow, and we'll go out in a parking lot. And before you know it, you'll be going over Laurel's Drive, downshifting, double clutching, and driving a stick shift. No worries.
Fingers crossed.
There you go. Absolutely. Don't grind the gears, though. That's all they say.
Yeah.
Or smoke
redlining, right?
No, don't do that. No, that gets expensive. That's the dollar part of the tachometer. Well, let me give you a proper introduction. We're going to dive into your world. April Morris is the sponsorship and communications manager of the Peninsula Hotel's signature events, and they are organizers, as you've heard on the show before, of the renowned motoring events known as the Quail, a motorsports gathering, and of course, the Quail Motorcycle Gathering, both hosted annually at the Quail Lodge and Golf Club in Carmel, California. Today, the Quail, a motorsports gathering, is widely regarded as one of the most preeminent motoring events in the world. Having gone many times, I can tell you it is. Having grown up in the Monterey Peninsula, April had previously worked in events and hospitality, leading up to joining the team at the Quail Lodge back in 2014 as the events coordinator. Now, 7 years later, her incredible partnerships and public communication efforts can be seen attributed to the charismatic and personal attention that you receive from April. Her kind heart, drive, and attention to details has established her as the go-to person, both with clients and internal team members. And of course, you'll remember during Car Months here, I recently had Courtney Ferrante, the director there at the Quail, and she had very high things to say about you, April. So she loves her team. So you guys are doing great. And I hear you're the one that convinced her to come on this show. So I owe you a debt of thanks. Thank you. For that. There you go. We'll be back in just a minute to talk more with April, but first a word from our sponsors. So keep your seatbelts on. We're in beautiful Carmel today, talking cars. The most damaging thing to your vehicle's interior is the sun. Harsh UV rays damage your interior over time. They crack your dash, they fade the colors, and the heat makes getting into your favorite ride downright unbearable. My friends at Covercraft have the perfect solution for you. Their quality-made sunscreens are easy to use, take seconds to install, and protect your vehicle while parked in the harsh sun. They fold up easily and store away for those times you don't want to use your car covers. I have one for every one of my vehicles, and you should too. They come in a variety of colors and options, feature an accordion design that makes unfolding and folding them for storage a breeze. Want to give the gift that keeps on giving? Buy sunscreens for all your family members and friends. They're quality made and custom fit for almost any vehicle you may own. Check out covercraft.com for a huge number of styles, colors, and options. And I've got a really cool deal for you. If you use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at covercraft.com, they'll give you 10% off. You can thank me. That's right, 10% off with the code YEAH21. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. American Collectors Insurance, that's how I now protect my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush. Are you insuring your classic vehicles on your regular daily driver auto policy? Then your special vehicles are at risk. Your regular auto insurance carrier won't tell you how much you'll get until after a claim, and more than likely, you'll be in for a rude awakening. With agreed value policy from American Collectors Insurance, you'll be paid your vehicle's full agreed value. No surprises. If you're driving your collector car less than 5,000 miles a year, do what I did. Call American Collectors Insurance and get your very own agreed value policy tailored to your specific vehicle. If you're like me, you're picky about who works on your special ride. A great policy allows you to choose your repair shop of choice, and that means you'll know the job is done right. I shopped around and decided to protect my car with American Collectors Insurance. They've been protecting vehicles since 1976. Give them a call for a quote today at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. And protect the ones you love. I did at American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. All right, April, we are back. So let's dive a little deeper into the corner as we double clutch and downshift. I'm going to teach you. Share more about what you do, why you love this role that you're in. Sounds like taking care of people and combining people with events has been something that you've been doing for a while. It's in your wheelhouse. It's a nice way to get the tires spinning a little bit here on Cars Yeah. So April, take the wheel.
So, funny enough, I actually had my first site visit yesterday at Quail Lodge post-COVID, and it's actually been over a year since I've had an opportunity to do a site visit with a sponsor. And when I left that meeting, it was about an hour and 15 minutes, walking the field, talking logistics, all the fun details. I honestly, in my heart, I was just so excited. It felt so good to get back out there, to have that client interaction and person to person. And I guess you could say that we really missed that. We're looking at, it's been 2 years technically since the quail has happened. So yeah, I really just have had a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of incredible people, incredible brands. I've been pulled into PR, I've been pulled into the marketing efforts and all of that. And it's really, truly just been an honor.
Well, your event, and I've been to your event many times. Last time was 2019, of course. And when I look at the plethora of not only the automobiles that you folks bring to this event, but also the sponsors, the companies, the brands, they're like the top of the top of the top. These are the coolest brands, the most elite. There's brands that I see there that I wasn't even aware of. And I go, I got to look these people up and learn more about what they're doing. In fact, I was wearing a hat that was given to me in 2019 by one of your sponsors the other day. And somebody said, where'd you get that hat? I just learned about that company. They're so cool. And we, all of a sudden we're two car people engaging, never met this person before. And I think I was at Costco or something like that. And so it stood out. So you're making connections is what a big part of your career is, right?
Yeah. And I think that, it's the connection between the event and the sponsor, but it's a connection for the sponsor to, the guests that are there. Obviously, they're targeted their customer base that they're looking for. So
sure. When you think about this path you've taken, it sounds like you've been involved in this aspect of your career path in a while. Now you've been able to combine it with automobiles, with cars and so forth. How much more exciting does that make it for you?
Oh, it's so exciting. I've grown up with cars. My dad used to have a 67 Camaro that we would take out every now and then. My dream car would definitely be a 356 Porsche.
Oh, yeah. That's on my bucket list too.
But yeah, cars have been part of my life, and it was a perfect fit when this opportunity came available.
Well, we'll talk about that 356 a little bit later in our talk today because, I've wanted one for so long. They've become a bit unobtainium in their price points. Oh my gosh, they've just got stratospheric, which is frustrating. Well, but who knows? The future, there's always opportunity out there. I'd love for you to share your driving inspirations, a key mentor in your life that helped you to be successful, someone that was very influential in your world. Who was that?
So I couldn't pick just one.
That's good.
So I actually have two. One whom you've already mentioned on the podcast already is Courtney. So starting in an entry-level position in the department, she's been such a driving force behind my success, instilling both drive for a career path or things like attention to detail and, personable communication and confidence. And that rings true the same for my second mentor, who's actually the director of sales and marketing at Quail Lodge and very involved in, the Peninsula signature events as well, Craig Barkdale. He's really helped me, especially on the sponsorship side of things, establish myself as the go-to person as I've become. Two different people, two different styles of management, both with amazing qualities and things that they've passed along to me.
Awesome to be a part of that team. Now, Courtney mentioned to me that the team that you're a part of, it's all women, right?
It is.
That's pretty cool, and that's pretty unique. And it's actually, I think it's very rare, especially in the automotive sector. That's why I've done Women's Month here on Cars Yeah a couple times now, because I see this trend happening, more and more women. I've had over 300 women on Cars Yeah. Women are coming on strong here in the automotive industry, but as I'm reminded quite often, well, we've been here for a while. It's just you're finally noticing us.
Yeah, it's definitely like that.
Well, it's great. Well, I think it's fantastic. You have a great group there, and the event you guys put on, or you ladies have put on, I should say it that way, is absolutely spectacular. As Ferris Bueller said, if you have the means, I highly recommend you give it a try because the Quail events are absolutely spectacular. How would you advise other women who are seeking to get into this field and career that you have to go about it?
Well, I think it rings true with kind of your comment about how we've been here, but people may not have really noticed. We've been pushing through the ceilings, whether they're corporate ceilings or, personal ceilings for quite some time. But if anyone's thinking of jumping into the automotive industry or sales in general, I would just say don't let up and keep pushing. It's crazy, but a lot of people don't realize that, women really are a part of a lot of the major automotive events around the world. And, just keep it going.
What are some ways that if women are having challenges in that arena of trying to break into that you might recommend they go about getting involved?
Do your research, because I think it's so natural for males. I think just in general, from the moment that they're brought into the world, it's all about cars and track, things of that nature. And, typically, little girls don't get that kind of stuff. And if it is something that does become of interest to you, learn about it. Knowledge is key. It's powerful.
Well, let's talk more about this event because a lot of people have heard about the Quail events. I've been fortunate to go to many of them. They're so spectacular. Share a little bit more about when somebody gets to be a part of this and attend, what they can experience from the very beginning through the whole day.
So we call our event a garden party. It's a
one heck of a garden party. Wow.
Yeah. It's very exclusive. My saying is always, once you enter through the door, you never have to pull your wallet out of your pocket unless you're buying a car. I think it makes it very unique in the fact that once you're there, you're just there to enjoy. And you're going to find anything from caviar, oysters, champagne, to the opportunities to speak to CEOs of companies that you didn't think you would ever be able to talk to. You might meet like-minded people who have, very similar interests, and seeing all of the entrants out there, the personal car collectors that bring their vehicles to display on the show field. They're there to share their stories, their history on the cars and their love for cars in general. It's just an amazing day. One day I hope I can experience it from that side of things. Obviously, we get a little bit different of an experience, but all still fun.
I can't imagine I'm fortunate because I come in as part of the media, so we get in a little bit early and I watch your team run around and they're just, this, we talked about this with Courtney and I want you to dwell on this as well. You put on these events. There's multiple events. There's the motorcycle events, the Quail when it evolves around cars mostly. There's other events too, but What's it like from your perspective when you have to work so many days and months for one day of the year? To me, it's like planning a wedding because all this stuff goes on in the background, and then the day it happens, it has to go perfect. Obviously for the bride first, for the groom and the families, but you've got to please thousands of people. That the weight on your shoulders, oh my.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we talk about how we're a small team of women, but we have what we call all hands on deck. And it's really the team from Quail Lodge. I mean, everyone you can think of on that property has a hand in the quail. And it's really enjoyable for our team to build up this event all year long and then be able to share that with our colleagues at Quail. We also have this, we call it the sitting duck syndrome, because on the surface of the water, everything looks so calm, everything looks so perfect, and underneath, those little feet are going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically what we're doing. We're running around as calmly and as easy as we can, I guess you could say, but there's so much going on that people don't even realize, even the day of, no matter how much you prepare for that day.
Right. What's going to happen? How are we going to adjust? How are we going to move with this and still make it seamless and enjoyable for everybody? Well, whatever you're doing, it's working, because every time I go, from the minute you walk in, you're handed a glass of champagne. And like you said, I typically stay until the cars are driving off the lawn. I don't want to leave. And that week, for me as a participant, that week is full of so many things, and there's all these things to do every day, multiple things. And I always go into that day thinking, okay, I have these other events I want to attend to, but I never leave. I just stay there because it's so enjoyable to the very end. I think when I walk out to the lawn to get in my rental car, there aren't many left because I just don't want to leave. I want it to just keep going and going. So maybe we got to start doing, no, maybe I shouldn't say this. I was going to say have a concert that night to keep people around, but you're probably going, Mark, don't say that. Be quiet. No.
No, I love it. Ideas are always great. No, but thank you. That's very kind and very appreciated.
It's tremendous. Yeah. Wonderful job. When did you realize what you're doing in your career was the right thing for you? And what's the favorite part of your job, what you do? What really gets you excited?
Okay. So the second week that I was with the Peninsula Signature Events team, we did our main event photo shoot. We did it on the Laguna Seca track on the corkscrew. And the car was a 57 Maserati 300S.
Ooh.
And I had the opportunity to jump in that car and ride down the corkscrew.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Well, from that moment, you were hooked.
Yep. And when you get into a $27 million car, I was afraid to touch the door.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And that car, I don't think you could get much more raw on one of the coolest racetracks ever. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you have any openings? Yeah. I think I want to come work there if I get to do that. That is cool.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Obviously, that was just, the beginning of my time at Quail. And as things have progressed, I really just continue to enjoy everything that I'm doing. I mean, I've always loved cars. I have an operational mindset too, though. And the favorite part, I guess, about the job is that to me, it's one big puzzle. And there's so many different puzzle pieces, and getting to see that puzzle come all together as perfectly as possible the day of is very rewarding.
That's a really nice way to put it. What a great analogy. I like that. One big puzzle. And at the end, it all paints a wonderful picture and experience for all of your participants. That is fantastic. Let's take a short break. When you come back, when we both come back, I want to talk to you about a big challenge you faced in your career and your life. So keep the seatbelts on as we go through the corkscrew in an old Maserati 300S. Oh, now you got me distracted. We'll be right back. Crash jewelry is handmade from the metal of luxury cars while preserving the original factory paint. Founder Christy Schimpke came up with the idea when she moved her jewelry studio into her husband's Los Angeles auto body shop. After watching beautiful Porsche ultraviolet fenders and Ferrari Rosso Corsa hoods head to the scrapyard, she developed her own unique upcycling process of cutting, bending, and sanding the metal into unique, wearable pieces of beautiful automotive art. For Women's History Month here on Cars Yeah!, Crash Jewelry is giving away a special Ferrari Art Deco cuff. The cuff includes an empowering message engraved inside. Enter to win today by subscribing at crashjewelry.com. Plus, Christy is offering Cars Yeah listeners 10% off in March when you use the code CARSYEAH at checkout. That's crashjewelry.com and use the code CARSYEAH today. And don't forget to follow Christy on Instagram at Crash Jewelry. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions. Ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. Join Linkage. Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. And don't forget, when you go to linkagemag.com and use the code Cars Yeah, you'll get $10 off your subscription. That's linkagemag.com. Subscribe today. All right, we are back, April. Now, I'd love for you to share a big obstacle you faced in your life, and more so, what was it and what did it teach you from a learning aspect so that you could move forward and take those lessons out of that situation that maybe wasn't so much fun and make it positive?
So very relatable to, women in automotive, and kind of your focus on these podcasts. I'm a female, and I'm a young female in a very male dominated industry with a lot of, I would say, older generation males that kind of run everything. And as a lead in sponsorships, it has been extremely difficult to establish myself as a trustworthy or experienced individual when having initial conversations with brands, working with high-level brand representatives. And honestly, it's just taken time. It's taken experience and showcasing that confidence over the years. It's finally made a difference. And I think it rings back true to being knowledgeable, whether it's knowledgeable about what you're talking about or what you're selling or your event, or just the industry and the focus of what that entails.
You hit the nail on the head really well there, because advertising, whatever business you're in, or clients, customers, are always the main direction. There has to be some kind of service or product you're delivering to somebody. You're delivering kind of both, but really an experience and a way to bridge that gap between that provider and a potential consumer. What are some ways that you've learned that help make you more credible in your job? The event is pretty credible. People get that. But for overcoming those challenges that you've seen as trying to become, as you say, credible, knowledgeable, what are some of the first things that you ask a potential advertiser to pique their awareness and go, oh, maybe this is something we could be part of?
Well, I think it goes back to the research side of things. If I can talk the talk, that's definitely, it's a much easier and naturally flowing conversation. It's when I'm, if I'm unprepared, it's not going to grasp their interest as much. I become more relatable if I can talk what they know, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Understanding what their needs are is the key thing as far as I think about it. And for something like the quail, I mean, you're drawing some very, very targeted, tight niche participants who are going to fit with some of these brands very, very nicely. So I think that's great. Now, I would assume you mentioned you're a young woman. You still have your big career ahead of you. Are there some bucket list items on this list of your career moving forward you'd love to accomplish?
Definitely. To put it simply, I want to be a CEO one day. I want to be at the top. And, I think that would include me having the opportunity to become someone else's mentor. Having learned from others, and my mentors helping me grow, I hope to be able to do that for somebody else one day. On a personal side, and this is very female related as well, I want to be a mom. And I think we all know that women are great at multitasking. So why can't I plan to do both motherhood and become a CEO?
Well, that would be awesome. Absolutely. What are some ways that you enjoy giving back to others, either in the automotive world or even outside of that world?
Well, on the automotive side, it's kind of an indirect giving back. We work with a few preferred charities for the quail, and one of those is the Naval Postgraduate School Foundation. We work on a volunteer program, and part of the volunteers that do come help out with the events, they are from their automotive club. It's great to see those individuals, they come, they put in their time, and then they are oohing and awing over the cars and the motorcycles on the field. Outside of the automotive industry, I've actually been very involved with a lot of charitable aspects that Quail has done over the years. I've worked with One Warm Coat and collected over 100, winter coats for the homeless for a nearby city. We've done Toys for Tots. We've done, canned food drives, things of that nature. And that's an annual effort too.
That's absolutely fantastic. If you could think of a high point so far, and you're going to have a lot more, I have no doubt, April, but a high point that you're most proud of in your career, what would that be?
Ooh, I think I'm going to have to go on the number side of things.
Okay.
And say that exceeding my goals over the last few years, very, very high, difficult goals, has been very personally rewarding.
Nice. Can you share maybe what one of those might have been?
Not the numbers exactly, but I would just say we'll do it percentage wise, maybe 10% over what the goal had been.
Ah, nice. Okay. Very cool. Well, congratulations for that. Well, let's take another short break. We come back. I'm going to take you on the ultimate drive. Maybe you dropped a hint on what kind of car that would be in here, but keep your seatbelts on and we'll be right back. How did you discover your path to a fulfilling life? Too many young people flounder in finding an education and a career that fits. But for those who have a passion for cars, trucks, and motorcycles, and who love working with their hands, problem solving, and fixing things, a career as a professional auto technician is incredibly rewarding. Cars Yeah! Is pleased to team up with TechForce Foundation, our charity of choice, in bringing scholarships, technical education, and hands-on experience to young people so they can discover a possible future. Join me and lend your support by visiting techforce.org today. All right, we're back. Now, driving around the part of the world that you're in is so beautiful. There's some wonderful drives up there. Been on many of them. The last time all the Car Week events took place, I got to ride in a 1913 Rolls Royce on the Pebble Beach Tour, which was fantastic. One of the Quail events, I got to ride in a vintage race car from Laguna Seca over to your event with a friend of mine. That was cool and awesome to drive onto the lawn in a race car with all those race cars making all that noise with highway patrol escorts, because none of these were street legal cars. We felt like outlaws, but we weren't really. We were just having some fun. So if I could arrange for you to go on what I would call today the ultimate drive, what kind of car would you be in? Who would you be riding with? You could pick anybody, someone who's living or someone who's passed. Who would be driving the vehicle, and what would you talk about, April?
So this is going to go back to my little note about what people don't know about me.
Okay.
So rest in peace, but I would choose Paul Walker.
Okay.
And yes, I do love the 356 Porsche, but due to my obsession, I think it would definitely have to be the Skyline from the movie.
Okay.
The other portion of what people don't know about me is I can't drive a stick. So I unfortunately would not be driving the Skyline, but maybe after a while he would teach me.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Absolutely.
And then I would say a question I would ask him would just be, what is his favorite car to drive and why? And then there would be a follow-up question, and that would be, can we drive that car next?
Well, I see what you're up to here. How to get another ride and then another ride and another ride. Yeah, incredibly sad to lose that automotive enthusiast, Paul, at a young point in his life. I mean, just tragic. A big testament, as I always say here, is if you want to drive fast in cars, do it on a track. Don't do it on public streets. And there's just too many things that can go wrong. But that sounds like a really fun drive, especially in your neighborhood going over Laurel's Grade. Maybe he could take you out to Laguna Seca, do some laps, come through the corkscrew in that car, probably sideways, which is not the way you would probably do it in that old 300S that you were in, unless you're a very brave person. Still, I don't think you'd want to be sideways in that vehicle. But oh, that sounds like fun. That's a unique one. Well, is there a book that you might share with us that you think others could learn and enjoy from?
Sure. It's actually one that my mentor Courtney had given me. It's called In the Company of Women, written by Grace Bonney. And it's over 100 different interviews of many different inspirational makers, artists, entrepreneurs, museum directors, actors, great viewpoints of women and how they have, gotten to where they are and the trials and tribulations they've had to go through to get there.
Oh, it's a great book. Gave that book to my daughter. It's fantastic. It's akin to what I'm doing here on Cars Yeah with Women's Month. But of course, you can find lots of women on the Cars Yeah podcast, not just during the month of March, but throughout the years. I love having women on the show. So The Company of Women by Grace Bonney, great book. You'll find that book and everything that April has shared with us today on her very own Cars Yeah show notes page. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in April Morris, and her page will pop right up. April, you've taken me on a fun ride today. We'll kind of pretend we're driving a stick shift and you're at the wheel, but we're gonna get you doing that. It's not that hard, and once you get it down, it's kind of like riding a bicycle. You never forget. I want to thank you for sharing your journey with us today. I can't wait to see you on the lawn at the Quail this year. Before I let you go, before you drive off into the sunset with Paul in that skyline, what's one little piece of parting wisdom or guidance you might offer the listeners?
I would just say, don't give up and have fun. Grab the wheel, you're in control.
Absolutely. Confidence for sure. What's the best way for people to learn more about the Quail, the signature events there, and you?
So if anyone is interested about learning anything more about our events, you can head to our website where you'll be able to contact our team and see what's going on for this year. You can see that at peninsula.com/signature events. And don't forget to check us out on our social.
I'll make sure I put links to all those on April's show notes page so you can check that out. And again, I want to thank Nathan Espinoza at Con Media for introducing me here. He brings me so many great guests. So thank you, all the folks at Con Media. And of course, Courtney for bringing you on board as well. If you missed my talk with her here during Women's Month on Cars Yeah, you can find it it was just a week or so ago. So you'll find it there on the Cars Yeah website. April, hey, thank you for spending some time with me, taking a few laps here on Cars Yeah. Wonderful what you guys are doing. My hat's off to you. I don't know how you pull this off every year. It's amazing. Until you and I talk again, I'll either see you down the road or at the Quail.
It sounds great. And thank you for having me, Mark.
You're welcome. Did you know that Cars Yeah is in the top 1% of all podcasts based on listenership, according to Libsyn, the premier RSS feed for podcasts in the United States? That's right. And Cars Yeah is the only 5-day-a-week automotive-focused podcast for you to get your message into the ears of thousands of listeners daily from all over the world. Plus, DuPont Registry recommended Cars Yeah is one of their top 10 car podcasts for you to enjoy. Cars Yeah has experienced tremendous growth, plus your ads are evergreen, meaning they never go away. And more listeners find Cars Yeah every day for their daily dose of automotive inspiration. Do you want to expose your brand to a highly targeted list of automotive enthusiasts in a very unique and very personal way? Well, I can help you. Contact me, Mark Green, at mark@carsyeah.com or through the website at carsyeah.com today to learn more.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.